Good evening, Blue Nation. Welcome back to the Andy's Man Club Mersey Blue podcast. We are doing the Everton Spurs debacle. More will come out later on as the show progresses. With me tonight, as always, is our co-host, Carl. How are you, lad?
Yeah, good, mate, good.
Excellent. We haven't got Mark with us tonight. He's jumped on another ship. I think he's in the port in San Diego. So, Marco, we've missed you, lad. Can't wait to get you back on, hopefully next time for Sunderland. Right, so let's get into it then, Blues. 4-2-3-1, Jordan Pickford between the posts. Big Jake, Tarkowski, Keane and Mikolenko. Garner and Garner in front of them. And then our favourite little front line, Ilian and Jai, Keegan, Dewsbury Hall, and the returning Jack Grealish, all backing up Beto. So I think the first thing for me was obviously the return of Jack after he couldn't play against his parent club City last week. Do you know, I had to look at the team sheet and I thought it looked decent. I really did. Dewsbury Hall back in the middle, and obviously Illy and Jackie there on the wings. I thought we had an okay start. We done okay. A couple of minutes in, I think it was 3 minutes, Ilian and Jai crossed over from the right-hand side. I think it was. The ball completely misses Beto. I don't know how in the penalty box. Luckily, Jackie Grealish is behind him. He hits a hell of a volley. Manchester hit the leg of the defender and it stayed out. But, you know, it was a nice positive early start. And then I felt Spurs started to grow into the game a little bit then. 20 minutes. They open the scoring. Corner comes over. I think it's Bentancur. He sends it back across the goal. It seems like hit his shoulder, bounced back across the 6-yard box. And there's Mickey van der Ven. It's an odd pass Jordan Pickford, 1-0 Spurs. We could have defended it better, I do think. Ironically, there was a little graphic I was laughing with Carl off here on Sky Sports, and it turned around and said that the only team in the Premier League who hadn't conceded a goal from a set piece was Everton. As Marco always says, Everton, aren't we? But anyway, 5 minutes later, we score. It's a Keane Dewsbury Hall corner. Big Jake O'Brien jumps up, heads it into the back of the net, and as per usual, with the wanker of a referee, and we will discuss more about him later, I'm sure Carl's chomping at the bit, goes to VAR, and it's disallowed due to interference on the keeper. An absolute joke of a decision, because just before half-time, I think 6 minutes of injury time, Spurs score a second one. Ball comes in from a corner again. Mickey van der Ven, as good as he played, like he shoves Jordan Pickford. You can clearly see him shoving JP. Takes Pickford a little bit off balance. Ball comes over, and Van der Ven heads it into the back of the net to make it 2-0 to Spurs. Well, that's all well and good, but why was that allowed if our goal wasn't? So again, Premier League officiating or lack of VAR and the obvious fucking Stevie Wonder fucking direction that we have in that little shed that they've got is just a complete joke. We've been saying this all season, and I tell you what, I don't care. I'm going to carry on moaning about it, because if we were the team from across the fucking park, or Old Trafford, or like Arsenal or someone like that, Chelsea, you know, they'd moan about it. So I think the officiating was absolutely terrible, and it was something, unfortunately, that continued into the second half. Highlight of the half for me was Ilian and Jai. I thought he was everywhere. Jackie played okay as well. Half time, Everton 0, Spurs 2. Carl, give us your thoughts and don't hold back on that wanker of a referee, will you, mate?
Yeah, well, it started off, as you said, really quite positively, really. You know, like Ilian Jai, brilliant. But again, once again, they probably are man of the match yet again. What we do without it, I just hope that in the summer, one of these alleged bigger teams don't come in and try and, snap him off us for a stupid fee. Because we're one of them clubs, if we get offered like a really big fee for someone, we'll have to sell him, and nobody wants it. Because at the moment he's our linchpin, and he's playing, in theory, out of position. I know he plays on the right for Senegal, but his majority played for Everton on the left, hasn't he? Whether it's an option to put Grealish in the centre, and then you'd lose Dewsbury Hall there, so I really don't know. Maybe Boyes is going to stick with what he is, but going back to the game, I thought, better again. No 2+ up front. I feel sorry for the guys behind, the likes of Njai, who's absolutely amazing, as we said, Grealish and KDH, because they've got no one that can put the ball in the net in front of them, so they can get the ball to Beto. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it might have been the second half when he did the overhead kick, and he went, and I thought he spooned it a little bit. He wasn't convincing at all. And as you say, they went ahead after about 20 minutes. Now, perfectly good set piece goal. I couldn't believe that we defended it the way we had. And then when Jake O'Brien scored, I didn't see any difference in it. So what was, as you say, Van der Vaan's second goal. And yeah, it went to VAR, but they couldn't decide. Surely, if it's infringement of the goalie, I mean, he got pampered as it is. Goalies. There's the goalie for the union, and oh, we can't get touched, we can't get breathed on. Otherwise, we're going to get, a foul against the attacker. Perfectly good goal from Jake O'Brien. I was up in arms about it at the time. I think I said to Mark, what a fucking joke. Paulson as if he eats us. And when he went to the screen, I knew there was nothing down for that goal. I thought it's not happening there and then. Played all right, little fits to start, and then, as you say, at the end, they went and scored the second one. And I think that put the game to bed then from our point of view. Yeah, coming back against Spurs from 2-0. We've had some good games against Spurs in the past, but at 2-0 at half time, I think that was done and dusted as far as we were concerned.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It was just a kick in the balls when that second goal went in, and yeah, unfortunately, the second half. I mean, we did have like chances which we will get to, but for me, yeah, it's a fucking shit show. Okay, guys, let's go to our sponsor, the amazing Andy's Man Club, and we'll be back after the break. Life is hard, and we all have bad days. There are times when we feel we can't cope. This is the time we need to reach out and talk to someone. Andy's Man Club offers local support groups nationwide, running every Monday from 7pm except on bank holidays. In these groups, men can open up about the issues affecting their lives in a safe, non-judgmental environment. Our clubs are designed to be free of pressure. There is no obligation for men to speak, they can simply listen if they wish. Find us today at www.andysmanclub.co.uk. Help one guy, save one life. Andy's Man Club, it's good to talk. Welcome back, Blues. That was our amazing sponsor, Andy's Man Club. Remember, boys, it's good to talk. So, the second half. I think we had a decent start. We had the first of our penalty appeals. Early doors. I think it was Danso fouled KDH. Nothing given. No surprise. Shit officiating all game. I think the other occasion was later on. I think Garner went over, and that looked more of a pen to me. But we're not getting anything. Stupid shit decisions in the first half just led on to the second half. And I'm sorry if I sound boring, but we were never going to get a penalty in that. And then 10 minutes in, 54 minutes, Everton chance, across from Njai. Beto looks quite acrobatic with an overhead kick. I think it actually did bobble off his ankle, to be fair. Carl and I were talking about it off air before. But, he reacted. And the keeper from virtually point blank range, who I thought had a decent game, I think his name's Vittorio, he managed to save it. And then 10 minutes later, after the introduction of Richarlison, who I want to touch on as well in a minute, Pickford made a really big save, in my opinion, to keep Everton in the game. I mean, I think at 2-0, it was done, but if that would have been 3-0 at that point, I think heads really would have dropped. Quickly on to Richarlison, I saw a couple of photos, which I'm sure most of you have around socials, of him going over to the Everton fans at the end of the game, signing autographs and stuff like that. So anybody anywhere listening, or if there's football gods that exist, please, please, please bring Richie home. 67 minutes, Thierry Barry comes on for Beto, and Merlin Roll comes on for Jake O'Brien, and we pushed Jimmy Garner back into right back and had a little bit of a shuffle round. We had a couple of late chances. Ilian Njai had a shot from outside the area. It bobbled and hit a couple of players and I think it went wide. And Merlin Roll managed to head over. A couple of minutes to go. Charlie Alcaraz comes on for Idrissa Gana Guy. And then, wouldn't you know it, Spurs just kick us in the balls. Third goal of the game. Cross comes over from the right. There's Richarlison, who heads back unselfishly across the goal. And Sarr is there to just tap in a header from close range. Full time. Everton 0. Spurs 3. Carl, tell me what you thought.
Yeah, apart from William Jai in the second half, then the rest of them were much of a muchness. As you say, better had that donkey kick chance, whatever you want to call it. Is they, if there's going to be anybody who come to him, he'd do that spectacular. But I think the save from Vicaria is one of them TV saves, if you like. I thought it was like, oh, easily savable, but he made a bit more of it than what it was, what it could have been. But I don't think it was a great overhead kick by Beto. Other than that, as you say, I think there was a chance for a roll. He had the header. I think he played well when he came on, decent before in a little cameo. But again, these players need to be playing more minutes. The fact that we've been kicked out of the cup earlier, they're not getting as many minutes as what they probably would have got, which doesn't help. It's not helping their growth. It's not helping us as a team. We need to have a team and stick with it. And our biggest problem, I know Jake O'Brien had a decent game. He had a goal as allowed, which should have still, in my opinion, stood. But he's not a right back. We need a proper, a horses for courses person in that position. He's a centre back. We need to be putting him in the centre. Because I thought at one point, when Tarky was holding his back in the first half, I think he was in the first half. I'm not sure he was holding his back. And I thought, shit, if he has to go off injured, we're fucked. Because there's no one else. So other than that, yeah, they scored the third late on. Richarlison, I would get him back in a heartbeat. As a Spurs supporter, you can't be happy with that. Him signing autographs for a team he used to play for. All the posts he puts, and he has done pretty much since he left. I don't think he really wants to leave. I think it was more a financial thing in Everton not to really sell him. And he obviously wants to play in the Champions League, which he's done now. So he can come back, I've done that. I've come back. And I still think we need to go and get someone like Tony, 100%, because I don't think Richarlison, as great as a player as he is, and he was while playing for us, he was Brazil's number 9, if you remember. He's not that anymore. He needs to come back, get into Brazil team again. You need to get Tony and Richarlison, and then maybe look at bring in Barry on. But get rid of Beto as soon as you can. Get rid of him. He's just a donkey. He's not even good for Championship. I think if you stuck him in the Championship, he'd struggle. We see with Timothy, we thought he was going to be potential. He's not even getting on the pitch at Rangers at the minute, is he? So, and that's a lesser league. So, I mean, as much as I love Moyes and I think he's done brilliant with the signings he's made, Grealish, Kieran before, we could never have thought of dreamed of buying them beforehand. I know we haven't bought Jack yet, but that'll probably happen. He hasn't been very successful in buying strikers. We need to get someone who knows what they're on about. Hopefully there's backroom staff now. The guy that was at City he's worked with before, the guy that's been at United, they can have some input and say, sorry, we need to just focus on one position or two positions and get them done. Because we've got them. I know they said in the summer it wasn't going to be all done and dusted in one window, and it's not. And we can completely see we have improved a lot. And the final pieces need to be done now and in the summer. Well, say now it's in January, but a bit of a shit show. 3 points lost. You should have at least got a point. But hey ho, bring on Sunderland, which is going to be a tough game. They're flyer at the minute.
Yeah, all good points, mate. I think my final thoughts there. Great to see Jackie G back. Everybody knows how much I love him, like all you guys do. Illy was the shining spot for me in Jai. I think he had a really good game. Ridiculous fucking officiating. That fucking Pawson, he's an absolute gobshite. Honestly, he is. I mean, he's the worst referee. He fucking hates Everton. And I think, to be honest, after that, like another repeat offence, we all fucking hate him as well. I don't understand how their second goal stood, like I said earlier, if ours was disallowed for interference. But again, Premier League inconsistency, or as the song says, Premier League corrupt as fuck. Before the match, I thought we'd have done better. I've been saying 2-1 all week in work when asked to Everton. What do I know? I think ultimately we got what we deserved. I think, we played better than what a 3-0 scoreline said. But between refereeing, inconsistency, Beto being Beto, and like Carl had said there, we move on to the Stadium of Light on Monday, Sunderland. That is going to be a really hard game. I think it's Fulham at home after that before the international break. So, hand on heart, praying to the football gods, appointed Sunderland 3 points at home at the Dixie against Fulham, which after the way we played the other day, to be fair, isn't a guarantee. But I think we need 4 points now out of those 6 going into that international break. Carl, have you got anything else to add before we wrap it up, mate?
Yeah, I completely agree. At least 4 points, hopefully 6. Got everything crossed for that. The only one positive I can take out of this whole game is it's a bit of a side note, really. It's the fact that I've got Mickey Van der Ven in my fantasy team. So that was the only positive I can take from this game from my point of view. As regards to Everton, it was a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, I'm glad you had Van der Ven in your team, lad. But anyway, let's leave it there, and we'll catch you all, hopefully with Mark in tow, after the game at the Stadium of Light. Catch you all later. Up the fucking Toffees.